Hi, in this video, I'm going to explore a laptop I received that is Windows S mode. I did not know it was Windows S mode when I ordered it from Amazon. In this video, I'm going to explore the condition of S mode. Then I'm going to make a separate video to show how to switch from S mode to normal mode. And I figured I want to make it a separate video because some people, that's all they care about. That's all they want to do is switch it to normal mode. And they may not care about the limit or understanding more about Windows S mode. So I've got it on my desk here. I cannot connect to it remotely the way I usually do through LogMe and Rescue, because it's Windows S mode. So I've attached a HDMI cable to my capture device. And so now when I press this button, that takes me to the screen of the laptop, and then I can turn my picture-in-picture on right there. So like I said, I did not know this laptop was S mode when I ordered it. So I'm going to show that to you about the order that I placed, and come over here for that. So this is my Amazon account, and there's two HP 14-inch laptops shown here. This is the first order I placed, and I wound up sending that one back. I didn't even get far enough with it to realize that it was S mode. And then this one was the replacement. So I'm going to show the order details. This was an inexpensive laptop. It's particularly appropriate for the purpose that my client wants for this laptop. So it's an HP 14-inch AMD Athlon Silver 3050U processor, up to 3.2 gigahertz, 4 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM memory, 64 gigabyte SSD storage, webcam, Bluetooth, Win 10 operating system. That S right there, it does not imply S mode. That is OS for operating system. And it's a renewed computer, so it's not a brand new computer, but it's a beautiful looking computer. I'm going to show you the invoice. Let's see, was there a reason why I need to show the invoice? Maybe not. $249.99 plus tax. And I ordered that on, well, it was charged to my account, to my card on December 15th and ordered on December 14th. Okay, so here I guess is the reason to show that invoice is when I go show you the invoice for the replacement. So this was the original order. This one was the replacement. I'll click on the order details for it. And notice here it says total 0. I'll click on invoice. And see down here it says payment method was gift card. Well, when I ordered the return, I selected an option to take a replacement computer. And so that's, the gift card was from the vendor, essentially, that I purchased it from. And that option is not always available when selecting returns. I've seen different sellers through Amazon can have different return options. So that's what happened in this case. I'll switch back to the a camera view here and point out that this is really a very nice looking computer. I cannot tell by looking at it that it's not new. It's got an Athlon Silver embossed. It's not real. I don't think it's a, yeah, I guess it's a sticker. Maybe it's a sticker. And then an AMD Radeon sticker. These stickers are both just beautiful. It's like bragging, I am a low-end computer and proud of it. So everything about it is just beautiful. The first one that I received, I returned it because the keyboard was not consistent in its operation. I could type on the keyboard and just not have anything respond. Now that closing that lid a little bit apparently put it to sleep, and just an arrow key brought it back up. I have a local user account configured on it with no password. When I did the setup on this computer, nothing about the initial Windows initialization gave me a clue that this was S mode. It looked completely normal, just like a regular Windows 10 home computer initializes. I did not realize that it was S mode until I copied my standard utilities over to the computer and then tried to establish my remote connection. Let's see, none of those are actually in my folder. So I'll bring that up and show you how I discovered that this is S mode, because I don't really like the way that happens. So if I come down here to DougBetts remote installer, that's the way I typically initially set up a remote connection to my LogMe and Rescue. I hear a lot of technicians through YouTube bemoan Windows S mode and say things like they wish it had never been created, and it's just a bane to their existence. And I suspect the reason why technicians react that way is because they spend a lot of troubleshooting time trying to fix a computer before they discover that it's in S mode, because it's not a good presentation what happens. So if I try to install this DougBetts remote installer, I'll double click on it, and I get a message saying the system administrator has set policies to prevent this installation. Well, first of all, that's not true. I'm the system administrator, and I haven't set any policy to prevent this installation. So this doesn't give any clue that the reason that this won't install is that it's in S mode. So Microsoft could really fix their reputation a lot by just giving a more correct message when somebody tries to install a program that won't work on Windows 10 S mode. Well, I've been through this before, and I've had frustrating experiences before. Particularly, I was connected by telephone to a new client, somebody I'd never worked with before. I was trying to help them with their home computer on the request of one of my regular business clients. And we couldn't get the LogMe and 123 installed on their computer, and they were reading the messages they were getting, and it was some message like this. I said, well, did you get that computer from your school or your work or something? I was trying to figure out who's the system administrator. No, it's my computer. Took quite a while before I discovered the problem was Windows 10 S mode. It was my first encounter with it. So when I encountered that on this computer, I almost immediately suspected what was wrong. So what I did to go look for that is Windows key R and then WinVer. It's showing up there because that's the last thing I did. I'm going to go ahead and type it anyway. And press enter, and that shows what version of Windows we're currently running. Now, even here, it takes a while to realize what's going on, because up here at the top it says Windows 10, Microsoft Windows version 2004. And 2004 is not the right way to pronounce that. It's 2004, because this version was created in 2020 and released to the public on the 4th month of that year. And this is a more specific operating system build number. 2020 Microsoft Corporation, all rights reserved. So far, we haven't seen anything about S mode. Down here, the Windows 10 Home in S mode operating system and its user interface are protected by trademark and other pending or existing intellectual property rights. So this is the quick, easy way to figure out that it's Windows 10 S mode. There is nothing else on this screen that implies S mode. When you restart the computer, I haven't seen anything that indicates Windows 10 S mode, but now that I say that, I realize I haven't actually checked. Okay, so let's go ahead and check. I'm not quite sure how this is going to show up in my capture card, but I'm going to click on the power button here and then restart. And I know we're going to lose the connection part of the time, so I'm going to switch to my camera when the capture card gives out. So far, it's showing the same thing there. So now we're looking at the screen here during the restart. HP, got the spinning circle of dots. This all looks normal. To skip disk checking, press any key within 5 seconds. Okay, I'm going to press any key because I don't need disk checking. I don't know why it's trying to do that. That's a little disturbing. Staff, welcome. Nothing here that indicates S mode. There's no password for staff, so it should go right to the desktop. Oh, I should have it back on camera now. Yes, I'm in capture card. Okay, so there was nothing to indicate S mode. Now let's go look here. If I open Windows Explorer and then OneDrive EXE, bad image. I bet that's why I was trying to do a fixed disk or whatever it called it. Is that file is either not designed to run on Windows or it contains an error. Try installing the program again using the original installation media, or contact your system administrator or the software vendor for support. This is kind of making me think that the vendor for this computer has pre-installed OneDrive, and OneDrive will not run on Windows 10 in S mode. I'm guessing that's what's going on here. Oh, by the way, did I show you that? I don't think I showed you this. Let me switch back to the that order screen. So now if I come click on the description of this item, that'll get me into the Amazon listing for it. And notice here it says currently unavailable. I'm guessing they've had too many complaints or returns or something, and they've taken this off the Amazon marketplace, either the vendor or Amazon. So let's come back now. So I want to come over here to this PC and right click and choose properties and see what it says here about Windows. Here it is, Windows 10 Home in S mode. So this also tells us. But the logo over here is identical. So we have an AMD Athlon Silver 3050U with Radeon graphics, 2.3 gigahertz, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64-bit operating system, 64-bit based processor, and Windows is activated. So that all looks fine. Now I'm curious about some other things of what will or won't work. So I'm going to go to my utilities. And I'd like to see if CPU-Z works. For security and performance, this mode of Windows only runs Microsoft verified apps. So essentially what we're told is that Windows 10 S mode will only run apps that are in the Microsoft Store. So this should be pretty quick to verify that. So Crystal Disk Info, I'll try running that. Got the same thing. I'm curious to see if any of these will work. Crystal Disk Mark Portable, same thing. Try the 64-bit version, same thing. Disk Detective, Same thing, won't run. Some of these others I'm not even going to attempt. Heaven benchmark, I'm sure that won't run. This has taken longer to come up with a message, but there it is. So I think that's far enough to say that, yeah, nothing other than what's in the Windows Store will run. Now let's take a look at what they pre-installed on this computer. Windows key R and then appwiz.cpl. This takes us straight to the Add Remove Programs wizard. And look at that. There is Microsoft OneDrive is the only thing installed, and it was installed yesterday. Well, yesterday is when I performed the first initialization of this computer. So somehow it got automatically installed yesterday. That's strange. Now, when I did the Windows updates yesterday, it did not go smoothly. There were several messages over here on, I'm typing the Windows key, then update settings. It's my favorite way to get into this screen. Several times when I did check for updates, it would download updates and install updates and then give me messages, unable to install such and such. Give me a retry button. And I would try the retry button. If it failed, then I'd restart the computer and then try Windows updates again. Eventually, it completed. So if I do check for updates now, I don't expect it to find anything, except it might find a Windows Defender update perhaps. Okay, so now it's downloading, yeah, for Microsoft Defender antivirus. And it's done. So that worked. All right, so then I'm going to go to the Windows button and look at this stuff over here. Productivity. It looks like there's some stuff here pre-installed. Spotify Music. I'm going to see if that'll play. I'm suspecting there's things installed here on perhaps on an image file that won't work in S mode. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything happen after having clicked on that. There, I did a double click. Okay, I went to Microsoft Store and it is downloading Spotify Music. So apparently that is in the Microsoft Store. So did that, I haven't seen it appear anywhere on screen. Modified moments ago, downloads and updates. So these are all things that appear to be installed. Is OneDrive here? No, I don't see OneDrive. Let's look down here in the system tray. There's no OneDrive down here. Try this search field. Just type 1. Microsoft 365. There's a OneDrive app down here. What happens if I click on that? And it's free and it says get. Kind of looks like that's going to work, and obviously it's in the Microsoft Store. Use across your devices. Sign in with Microsoft. Use on any compatible device. I'll answer no to that and see if it'll install. There's an install option. And it's asking me to sign in. Well, there is a Microsoft 365 account that I intend to use with this computer. I'm clicking to another screen so that I can find the credentials for that. account. And I'm thinking that account, yeah, you know what? I do think that account is a full license. Meaning I can install the actual apps. Let me check on this. Okay, I've got whoops, wait a minute, that's not the password. Use this account everywhere on your device. Windows will remember your account, make it easier to sign in, clicking next. Yeah, that's fine. Now, I don't think that made this Windows login a Microsoft account. I still think it's logs in as a local account. And I'm going to double check that because I've been questioning myself about that recently. This product is installed. So then we have a button to launch. Welcome to the new OneDrive app. Next. Browse and manage files faster. Next. And start using. While you were away, your account was frozen. Unfreeze your account by February 21st to avoid automatic deletion. Well, that's strange. How would that account be frozen? Okay, so that's going to take up to 24 hours to unfreeze the files. I don't know what that's about. I'm going to look into that separately. Let's see if OneDrive is on the taskbar now. No, it's not. All right, so enough of that. Let's try, we've still got the old Microsoft Edge. It hasn't upgraded yet. When I launch that, it should prompt to install the new Edge. I'll download that. Accept and download. And run it. So I said at the beginning that this computer is a low-end computer and appropriate for the mission of this computer. This computer is going to be used for scanning files for my client, which is a law office. Oh, here's a pulsing user account control message down here on the taskbar. This is an unfortunate thing about installing software where there's a prompt wanting us to respond and it's hidden behind the Microsoft Edge window. So I'll click on that. to bring that to the surface, and then answer yes. It's easy to get stuck during an installation when you don't recognize that pulsing icon, because on some screens the pulse isn't very prominent or noticeable. So anyway, this computer will be used by a person at their home who has a box of files from the law office to scan, and all they're going to do is scan them to an externally connected hard drive. So we don't even need much hard drive space on this laptop. So it has a small SSD, and it's a fairly low powered, inexpensive laptop. So what I'm looking to do now is actually go sign in to the Microsoft Office account for this staff account in this law office and see if I can install the Microsoft Office programs. Down on the taskbar, we see we've got the new Microsoft Edge icon. So we've got that now. And then I'll go to a new tab and type in the address office.com and sign in. It's a work or school account. Stay signed in, yes. And you... No, I'm not going to save that password. Stay signed in, yes. And I've got a prompt up here to install Office. Now, before doing that, let's have a look at how we're doing on hard drive space. So Windows key E to bring up Windows Explorer. Right-click on the C drive, choose Properties. Used space, 26 gigabytes, free space, 31 gigabytes. This graph shows the difference between used space and free space. So used space at 26.2. When I install the apps, how much space is that going to eat up? And then I'm also interested, can I uninstall the apps and reclaim all of that space? Now, an interesting thing, installing Office, you have to install all of the apps that have been configured within the administrator console for this user. So for a business Microsoft 365 account, I can reduce the number of apps that are installed on the computer, but it's really just all the auxiliary apps, the basic Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Notebook, and Skype. I think, well, Skype I think I can turn off, but I can't tell it to only install Microsoft Word. But there are dozens of other apps that are installed by default, and most of my clients never use or need or even know exist. So here in the bottom left corner, it's downloading the Office setup.exe file. When that finished pulsing, then I click Open File, and that'll start the installation. So click Yes to the user account control. Being that this is a lower capable computer, it's curious to me whether this installation of Microsoft 365 will take longer. I don't really have a way of measuring it because I don't know how long it takes on any particular computer, but this graph does tend to take a while. Here it's showing us the basic apps that it's installing. Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, OneNote, Publisher, Access, and Skype for Business. Yeah, that one was PowerPoint. I didn't realize this was popping up call outs of what each of those are. Well, that's interesting. There's another window back here that is hidden from our view, but we have this graph. So when I have a graph that I'm not sure if it's stuck, one of my techniques is just to put the mouse arrow right there at the right edge of the graph. That way, when it advances a little bit, I can tell. This looks like it's going to take a while. And I'm wondering if the drive problem, that message that we have that it wanted to fix the drive when we restarted the computer, is that going to cause a glitch here? I have seen this get stuck like this, so I'm not going to bail on it. I do think that it's still running. I'm going to click on this icon and see that it does switch to that. Yeah. And switch to this one. So this is a window on top of the graph. So I'll go ahead and leave those both visible. Okay, while that's running, I'm going to switch to another screen here and address the issue about switching out of... Oh, there it goes. All right, let's stay with it and watch it. I was going to go start talking about how to switch out of S mode, but I'm intending that to be a separate video, so I'll hold off on that since this is moving now. Okay, Now that I have a video showing how long that takes, I'll compare it to a faster computer some other time. Click close and click close. And then I'll close Microsoft Edge. Now that doesn't put any icons on the desktop. I'm going to press the Windows key and type Word and press Enter. That'll open Microsoft Word. Now that the icon is on the taskbar, I'll right-click on that icon and choose Pin to Taskbar. And I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of things that I always do when I install Microsoft Office. I'll click on Options. This welcome window here I don't like, and it's a nuisance to people who have come from computers that didn't have that. So to stop that, I'll scroll to the bottom of this general tab and remove this check mark for show the start screen. And then I'll go to the Save tab and click on Don't Show the Backstage when opening or saving files with keyboard shortcuts. This account doesn't have Office yet. Office isn't associated with lawyers. To use Office, select one of the options below. Okay, so I guess I don't have that account authorized to install the software. That's surprising. That's surprising that it even let me install it. I'm going to have to check on that outside of this video. So I'm going to stop that here. I'm going to close this, and yeah, it's asking me to accept the license agreement. Okay, I'll try that, see what happens. Got an exclamation mark there because it's not accepting this. So I'm wondering what is going on here. All right, I'm going to pause the video recording for a moment. I'm going to go check that account in the admin console, but since that involves going to my client's admin console, I'm not going to put that on this video. Then I'll come back and let you know what I find. Okay, so this is interesting. I'll switch over to a screen to show you what I've found. This should do it. And I've got some blurring here. I'm going to move my picture-in-picture over to the other side and show you what I found here is that this this license, this email address that you see me working with, I've got this partially blurred out to hide the other users' email addresses, but this is the one that I installed on this laptop using the email address you saw me put in. It has a license for Microsoft 365 Business Standard, means it is authorized for these applications. And when we look over here, we see a check mark, again, showing Microsoft 365 Business Standard, and then here's all those other applications that I mentioned. And notice that Microsoft Word and Excel is not specifically in this list. It's covered in one of these items. What would it be? I don't think it's Power Apps for Office 35. It's not Office for the web. Which one is it? Oh, here it is, Microsoft 365 Apps for Business. That would cover Microsoft Word and Excel, Outlook, and so on. So this computer does have the license that it needs. So what is going on? Why won't it operate Microsoft Word and show a license there? So let me launch that again. Use a different account or buy. Office isn't associated with lawyers, pwfresno.com. To use Office, it is associated. That should be working. So I'm going to leave that installed and see if when I switch this to Windows 10 normal mode instead of S mode, will that fix it? I'm going to try this activate button. I don't think that'll work based upon what we've already seen. This account doesn't have Office yet. It's just not true. All right, so that's enough of that. I'll close this down. I'm thinking that I want to restart the computer and let it do that, fix the disk thing. But before doing that, I want to go look at this OneDrive folder and see what's here. So here again, it's complaining that this adal.dll is either not designed to run on Windows or it contains an error. Try installing the program again. And if I expand the C drive and go look in the users section under the staff profile, there'd be a folder here for OneDrive. There it is. Probably get that same message. Yes, indeed. So I'm a little bit torn about whether to let it do that fix routine it wanted to do, or to just promote it from S mode to normal mode. Because if the problem is S mode, then fixing the disk might not solve the problem. But I'm going to go ahead and try that. That's just the choice that I have made. So I'm going to restart the computer from the Windows button and then power and then restart. And when we lose connection through the capture device, then I'll switch to the camera. And see what happens. There we go, no signal. So the laptop is restarting. To skip disk checking, press any key within 6 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2, 1. Now it's fixing stage 1, 41%, stage 2, 40%, 68%, stage 2 still 73%, 82%. I'm going to switch over to the capture card just to confirm that I don't have it. No, I don't. So then it went on to stage 3, and then the screen went dark like it's continuing to boot. So the question is, oh, and then we got scanning and repairing drive, a spinning circle of dots. So will this fix that OneDrive problem? Or is the OneDrive problem due to S mode? Okay, so now, whoops, the computer didn't come back online. Why is that? Okay, here I've got that same message about OneDrive, so it did not fix that. I'm still not getting the screen, so I'm gonna go behind my desk and unplug the capture card and reconnect it. I called it a capture card. It's not really a card. It's a box connected. It's a box connected to a USB cable and connected to this HDMI cable. Now, does that bring us back? No. Not there, not there, not there, not there. No dice. Where can I bring that back? Let's try with this cable. Oh, you know what? Maybe I just need to change the display mode. So FN and then this F4 key, that did not bring up the display choices. Try that again. Try the F4 key without the FN key, nothing. Which indicates that it's not sensing that there is a second display. So right click and then display settings. This file does not have an app associated with it for performing this action. Please install an app, or if one is already installed, create an association in the default apps setting page. Well, that's strange. Okay, I'm going to try disconnecting the HDMI and reconnect it. Then the F4 key, no response. FN and F4, no response. Right mouse button and choose display settings. Oh, that's where I got this message. The file does not have an app associated. Oh my gosh, this computer is not working well at all. Oh, and I lost my Wi-Fi connection. Let's see if I can connect to Wi-Fi. I can't even bring up a Wi-Fi menu. Well, yeah, because there's no, that globe. I've got a globe icon there indicating the Wi-Fi isn't even active or installed. Here's an airplane mode button. Oh, that put it into airplane mode. Now switch it again. I still don't get a Wi-Fi. So I'm going to try restarting the computer again. The left mouse button did not respond on the Windows button. This computer is not doing well at all. Control-Alt-Delete did get me, I don't know what to call this. This isn't Task Manager screen yet, but a list of choices. So I'm going to go to the power button in the bottom right corner, left click, and choose Restart. And I see that the screen's actually, I'm not even seeing the right edge of the screen. I'm going to unplug the HDMI cable for this reboot. Well, my videos are unscripted, and you see the real technician work as it's happening. All right, screen's gone black. Restarting. This is kind of a long time with the screen black. I can hear the computer. It's still on, but it's not happy. Ah, there we go. There's a desktop. Don't have any sys tray items yet. It's clearly not well. This does not look good. Let's try the Windows key. Something happened. I didn't even have a taskbar before I did that. So when I hit the Windows key, after a moment, there's a screen refresh. So here's the Windows key now. Okay, there was a spinning circle for a second, and then the screen refreshed. Now let's try click. Now when I move the mouse down to the Windows button, I've got a spinning circle all the way across the taskbar. This is not going well. I'm going to try Control-Alt-Delete. That got an instantaneous response. The power button is really off to the edge. Like again, I'm not seeing the whole screen. So left click on that, and yes indeed, I'm not seeing the whole screen. I'm going to try Task Manager, see if I can see what's going on. So I've got Task Manager with no open apps. Oh, there's the taskbar populating and the system tray populated. That was crazy long. Now I've got the OneDrive bad image. It's believable that all of that could have been due to the trouble it's having with OneDrive. I've got CPU usage 19%, 15, 14, 13, 14, 13, 12, 11, 15. So that's still working on things. I'm going to click on the CPU column heading and sort things in reverse order. There's a lot of stuff bouncing around. It's certainly not locked up, but it should be more settled down at this point. I still don't have Wi-Fi. So now I'm going to try a full shutdown. When you have a problem with the computer, using the Windows button and then click on power and then restart, reloads all of the system drivers and the window and the user drivers. Shutdown and then power on does not do that by default. It does not. It does a hybrid shutdown. So if restart doesn't fix things, the next thing to do is a full shutdown, which is not a hybrid shutdown. It truly shuts down the computer. So next time you turn the computer on, it reinitializes all the hardware devices as well as reload system drivers and user drivers. Oh, I still don't have that. I got to go to, oh, wait a minute. Do I have that though? Let's plug this in and see if I've got a screen yet. No. Okay. How about right click on the desktop? Okay, got that. And then display settings. This file does not have an app associated. It's really bad. Pressing the F4 key, then Fn and the F4 key. That should give me a panel over here on the right side so that I can extend the display or duplicate the display. Duplicate is what I would want. So to do the full shutdown, what I'll do is Windows key R to bring up the run command, and then type shutdown space /S, and the S here is for shutdown, space /T, which is for timeout, and then space, and then a number, which is the number of seconds that I want it to delay before it actually shuts down. So there's a 3 and enter. You're about to be signed out. Windows will be shut down in less than a minute. So now it's shutting down. And this is a full shutdown, not a hybrid shutdown. So if these troubles are caused by hardware issues, then this will reset the hardware. And that might fix the Wi-Fi problem I'm having. And it might fix the display problem I'm having. For having an SSD, this computer's taken way too long to do shutdowns and startups. I really got a sense that I might be returning this computer. Okay, there it is, shut down. And then I'll press the power button to start it up again. The HP logo, the spinning circle of dots. See, an SSD drive should already be booted to Windows. So another thing I have in mind trying is, well, probably first trying to turn off S mode. And if I don't get anywhere with that, then reinstall Windows from scratch. Okay, so I have the desktop, but I don't have a sys tray. I don't have taskbar icons. I don't have a start button. I do have a border down here for the taskbar, but it's just not populated. I'm going to try the Windows key. Okay, that gave me the taskbar, and that happened last time too. It was when I pressed the Windows key, I think, that I got a taskbar to appear. The system tray hasn't shown up yet, although I do have a date and time. I'm going to try Windows key again, and the screen refreshed. Now, last time it seemed to just take a while before the system tray populated. But I want to see what else I can do. Windows key and the letter E for Windows Explorer. No response. If I move the mouse down to the taskbar, I think I'm going to get a spinning circle. Yep, it's busy. It's doing something. How about Control-Alt-Delete and look at Task Manager? See what kind of percent, 100%. I saw 100% momentarily, 16, 8, 6, 4, 2, 2%, 4, 7, 9, 8. Those aren't numbers that should be indicating that the computer's, locked up or not responding. I'm going to try the airplane mode button twice. Got no response. Windows key. After a moment it redraws, but still no system tray. I think at this point, just waiting for a while, the system tray is going to eventually appear. And I can't take it out of S mode until I can connect to the internet. So unless the Wi-Fi is fixed, I can't connect to the internet unless I connect an Ethernet cable, which I do have that available. So I think that'll probably be my next step, is to connect the Ethernet cable and try coming out of S mode. So there's the system tray and the taskbar icon. So that did confirm waiting long enough will cause all that to appear. Then I have the OneDrive problem. Hey, here's another idea. How about uninstalling OneDrive and see if that improves things? That could be the source of all the trouble. So Windows key R, I got the run window, appwiz.cpl. Oh, let's see if the screen share is back up. No. Let's try the screen F4 button. No response. FN key plus the F4. No response. Right click on the desktop. Choose display settings. And I got this same message about the file does not have an app associated. All right, so here's OneDrive. I'll uninstall that. Yes, there is an Ethernet port. I wonder if I can fix your view of that computer by adjusting the brightness of the camera. A little bit. The rest of the view is kind of dark, but at least now you can have a little bit of an idea of what's going on the screen. So nothing has happened yet. I'm going to try the install button again. Uninstall button. Please wait until the current program is finished uninstalling or being changed. I'm going to try moving this window. Excuse me, I think I hit my mute button in time for that sneeze. So it is trying to uninstall. I'm going to step away from the desk for a moment. All that is trying to complete. Still hasn't done anything in regards to uninstalling OneDrive. Control-Alt-Delete and look at Task Manager. 100%, 18, 15, 8. That 100%, when I first go into Task Manager, I discount that because I've seen that happen pretty consistently with Task Manager. When you first open it up, it's way high, which seems to have to do with initializing the Task Manager screen. Okay, so here we have, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? So this would be for uninstalling OneDrive. It doesn't confirm that anywhere on this screen. I'm going to click on Show More Details. And yeah, this confirms that it has to do with uninstalling OneDrive. Click Yes. 40%, 37%, 34, 49, 58, 34, 13, 4, 2. So it is working. Is there any confirmation message hiding from me? No. I'm going to drag that out of the way a bit. And I see that OneDrive is absent. It's gone from the installed apps screen. So it looks like it completed uninstalling. I still am unable to connect to Wi-Fi. Let's see if I can connect to Ethernet. Okay, the Ethernet cable's plugged in. I can see a blinking light, but I don't have a network icon. Oh, when I float the mouse over, it does tell me the name of my network, which is Betts, but it says no internet access. So it is indicating it's connected partially, but it's not getting internet. So right click on the internet icon. Again, it's shaped like a globe. It's not the icon of a monitor window that we expect to see. So I just tried right click and open network and internet settings, and I get nothing. This Windows installation is clearly not working right. All right, so I think it's time to reformat the drive and install Windows 10 fresh. This memory stick, I have Windows 10 2004. Let's try Windows key R and then down arrow to my shutdown /S/T3 and enter. So that it shuts down. Then I want to boot the computer on the memory stick. Now, when I turn the computer on, it may or may not look to the memory stick before booting from the hard drive. Depends upon how BIOS is configured. So typically if I press F9 or escape key, or sometimes it's F12, there's a key press that should allow me to choose which drive I want to boot from. And that can vary from one computer to another, and I don't even think it's very consistent with HP computers. So typically what I do is I just start tapping keys and can usually get to the right one. So there's power key, tapping escape, tapping F9. There I saw something flash, and it did not stay on whatever screen. So apparently me pressing the keys that I was doing, it did make a choice screen appear, but then it misinterpreted my key presses, and it's actually chose one of those. And I think it's trying to restart the current installation of Windows. Yeah, I don't want to wait for it. I'm just going to hold down the power button. If you abort a startup a few times in a row, then it makes Windows 10 start up in a diagnostic mode or troubleshooting mode. So power on. Now I'm just going to tap the escape key. I got to pause, and now, yes, boot device options is F9. So F9 would be the correct key that I could have just been pressing it. So F9 for boot options, and I have a choice. The second choice is USB, hard drive, Sand Cruiser, Glide. So it's actually showing me the name of this memory stick that I have connected. So press enter there. And then I'm getting Windows Boot Manager, choose an operating system to start. And it has Windows 10 setup. selected by default the 64-bit version. Press enter. So now it's loading files from the USB memory stick for the Windows 10 setup program. So my plan now is going to be to delete the existing partition so that I'm installing Windows 10 fresh on this computer. Now the Windows 10 S mode license has already been activated. So I don't know whether this is going to install normal Windows 10 or Windows 10 S mode. So here I have a screen. I'm pretty sure that I don't have capture device working yet. No. Language English, time and currency English, keyboard method US, click next. And then there's an option for install now. I'm going to click that. Now there's an option here for repair your computer. I don't want to try repairing that installation. That installation is just not interested in repairing it. So I'm going to install fresh, the best, clean, most thorough way that I know, which is to delete the existing partition and install the full Windows 10 from scratch. So now I've got a Windows setup screen. I click on the box for accept the license terms, then click next. Then I've got an option of upgrade install or custom. I want to choose custom. Now an upgrade install can only be done from a booted Windows 10 operating system. So if I were to choose this upgrade option, it's going to tell me, okay, you have to restart the computer and then do the installation. So I'm clicking custom install. And then here I have the existing partitions. And I'm going to delete all of those partitions. Let's see, those are all drive 0, partition 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to be sure before I start deleting things that I'm not deleting a partition on the USB memory stick, and it's not even on the list. So I'm deleting the partition that was already highlighted, which is 57 gigabytes, and that was the currently installed. Now I have partition 1 and 2, and then unallocated space, and then partition 3. This partition 3 is the recovery partition, and that would actually be how you would return to factory settings, which that should be a way to reinstall the S mode. But I don't want to do that. But I'm going to leave that partition 3 available. So then I'll delete partition 2 and delete partition 1. So this is unusual that I'm leaving one of the pre-existing partitions. Usually I delete them all. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like I'd like to keep that recovery partition around in case I want to revert to the operating system that actually came on this computer. So now I have unallocated space. I'll click the next button. And I've got copying windows. You know what? I wonder if I can bring this camera over. Okay, let's see what kind of view this camera gives you. All right, let's try that a different way. What if I bring that over here? That's all right. Now I'll try adjusting the focus. It's about as good as that got. I'm going to try manually adjusting focus. That looks better, I think. Automatic focus. And now about white balance, see if that gets any better. All right. I guess that's as good as I'm gonna get. All right, I think I'll let that run for a while and see what we get. I'm gonna switch it to this camera and walk away for a little bit maybe. Restarting in 10 seconds. Well, that's a pretty quick install. I think this next is going to take a little bit longer for it to complete the install. I don't think that's quite everything we need. So now it's not starting on the USB memory stick. This is booting off of the hard drive. I wonder what happens if I put this light. No, that doesn't help anything. No. Now we got a restarting. And black screen as it's trying to restart. That looks good.
Hi there. I'm Cortana, and I'm here to help. A little sign in here, a touch of Wi-Fi there, and we'll have your PC ready for all you plan to do.
Right.
Use your voice or the keyboard along the way, and if you'd like me to stay quiet, just select the little microphone icon towards the bottom of your screen.
Okay, microphone selected. Yeah, I don't want to listen to you, Cortana. Okay, so now select United States, click yes. And then keyboard layout, US, yes. Want to add a second keyboard? No, I'll click skip. Let's connect you to a network. I do not want to connect to a network yet, because if I do that, then Microsoft really pushes for a Microsoft account. And I don't want a Microsoft account on this computer. I want it to be a local user account. So I'm going to select in the bottom left corner, I don't have internet. There's more to discover when you connect to the internet. This is Microsoft trying to push us to connect to the internet. In the bottom left corner, I'm going to say continue with limited setup. And then it's asking for a username. Who's going to use this computer? I'm going to use the word staff, S-T-A-F-F. Click next. I don't want a password. I'm going to click next without putting a password in. And then I have the privacy settings. These are the same privacy settings that Windows 10 Home uses. So this is the same screen that I had on this computer when I first set it up, and it turned out to be Windows 10 S mode. So online speech recognition, I pretty much always say no. And find my device, I say no. Inking and typing, I say no. Location, I'll say yes. Diagnostic, I'll change it to basic instead of full. Tailored experiences, I put no. And my reasons for putting no on the ones that I said no is to reduce the workload on this computer. That's the main thing I'm interested in. And then bottom right corner, click accept. Do more across devices with activity history. So that allows you to be able to have your activity history from one of your devices show up on your other devices. I typically say no for business-related computers, for my clients. For my own computer, sometimes I answer yes. Let Cortana help get things done, I say not now. Prefer to say never, but that choice isn't available here. Almost done. We just need to get a few more things polished up for you, and Windows will be all yours. Looking forward to helping out. So still have not had any messages about S mode. And this is still the same setup that I went through when I first turned this computer on, and it turned out to be S mode. I'm going to point that camera down a little bit. All right, so we've got a Windows 10 screen now. The taskbar is populated, the system tray populated. That all looks good. The network icon in the bottom right corner is looking like a globe. And I'm going to try a left click on it. And I got Wi-Fi availability. Before I connect to Wi-Fi, I want to find out what version of Windows we've got. So Windows key and the letter R and then WinVer. And it is S mode. Windows 10 Home in S mode right here. I'm going to check to see how much hard drive space we've got. Expand this PC. Right click on the C drive and choose properties. 18 gigabytes, so that's less space used than when this computer first was set up. However, the hard drive occupation or size that I displayed at the beginning of this video was after having installed Windows updates. So we're not yet comparing apples for apples. Now, I'm tempted to start right away with turning off S mode. Well, let's see if I've got display. I'm going to try the display button. And yes, immediately I see the project screen there, but it's not detecting. Let's see, your PC can't project to another screen. Try reinstalling the driver or using a different video card. So that might mean that I don't have an updated display driver for this computer. So I'm going to try display settings. The computer definitely is more responsive. I'm going to try Windows key R and then appwiz.cpl. And I should, oh, there is Microsoft OneDrive. Well, that is just interesting. That was automatically installed by virtue of Windows 10, even when it's S mode. All right. I'm going to try restarting the computer and see if I get a message about needing to fix the disk. Power button and restart. I don't think this camera is useful now. Keep it nearby. I should have taken the memory stick out. That still seemed like a longer boot time than it should have been. I'm going to try ejecting the memory stick. Got a prompt to set up OneDrive. That's good. Let's try restart again. Power button, restart. $5:13:20. I just pulled up the clock on one of my computers to see how long it takes. I was a little late checking the time, so 5:13:20, 5:13:40, so 20 seconds from when I started watching the clock. That's okay. Still got a wait indicator as it's still loading more sys tray items. I see the OneDrive icon in the system tray, which I did not have that before. So it's definitely better than it was. So that was a restart without any attempts to scan the disk. Right click on the desktop, choose display settings, see what I get. Those look normal. So previously when I was choosing that, I got that message about there's no app assigned to this key. Trying the F4 key, and right away I got this display panel, but it's failing. Now, do I have... No, I don't have the ability to capture the display yet because that's just not functioning. I'm thinking I want to try Ethernet because that'll run faster than Wi-Fi anyway. And I lost my Ethernet cable. Okay, that found the network. Answer yes, I want to allow it to be discoverable by other PCs. Now, do I want to do updates first or remove S mode first? I think I want to remove S mode first because I'm totally over that. So here's Google search for switching out of S mode led to this. On your PC running Windows 10 S mode, open Settings, Update and Security Activation, and the switch to Windows 10 Home or switch to Windows 10 Pro. Select Go to the Store. If you see Upgrade, be careful not to go to the store. Switch on the Switch out of S mode or similar page that appears in the Microsoft Store. Select the Get button. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so Windows button, settings, enter, then activation, and oh, I got a mouse not working again. Oh, that's why I returned the first one. Ah, that kills it. That kills it. This computer is so ready to go back. How did I get Task Manager? I don't remember doing Control-Alt-Delete. Now I got a mouse. Okay, so I'll go to Update and Security, and then Activation, and then switch to Windows 10 Home. Now what's going on? Oh, you know what? It's doing updates. You know what? It's doing updates in the background. I'm going to check on that. Windows key, update. It didn't even type. Update, settings, enter. Let's see if it's doing updates. Your device is missing important security, but it did some kind of update because I saw the screen redraw. Let's see if F4 works now. No. Since it was a screen redraw, I was thinking maybe there was a display driver happening. But it looks like a different resolution now. Display settings, scale and layout, 125%. And it says that's recommended. Display resolution 1366. Again, the mouse is not responding. Oy vey. Well, it responded to the X. Windows key. No response. There's another new icon down here, and then the mouse stopped responding. Oh, there's some responses. It was a delayed response. Oh, this is nuts. This is just nuts and crazy. Now the display has reverted back to a higher resolution. Windows key, update, space, settings. There's the choice, enter. It's not doing updates right now. Here's activation on the left side. I'll go there. Switch to Windows 10 Home. Go to the store. Clicking. Switch out of S mode right here. You may want to think twice about switching out of S mode, especially if performance and peace of mind are your top priorities. S mode was designed for security, speed, and simplicity, offering thousands of Microsoft verified apps and Microsoft Edge, the fast and safe web browser. Microsoft Edge, Microsoft Edge is available without S mode. Please note you will not be able to return to S mode once you've switched. Okay, I'm a little torn here because if I go ahead and switch out of S mode, then I don't know if my troubles with Microsoft Office was due to S mode, or was it due to some kind of a operating system corruption or something. But I'm kind of thinking that this computer has some other problem. And so getting out of S mode puts me into an environment that I'm more familiar with. So it doesn't really, pursuing this direction is not going to answer my questions about S mode, but I really don't care about S mode because I never use it. I never set it up for a client intentionally. So looking more here, it's telling me some things about features that are available in S mode. So features, added protection, and S mode has a check mark. Switched out, it does not have a check mark. What it says is S mode blocks the installation of ransomware and malware. And that's true, substantially true. Optimal performance. S mode helps maintain system performance. It has a check mark. Now, I wouldn't be surprised at all if a low capability computer will perform better in S mode. And that's entirely believable because the operating system, I think, is slimmer and trimmer in S mode. Only verified applications allowed. Well, that's true because only applications that are in the Microsoft Store can be installed. Install non-verified applications. There's a check mark in the switched out column. There's no check mark in the S mode. Microsoft Edge, the safe and fast browser for Windows 10, there's a check mark in both columns for that. OneDrive, enjoy free online storage for your photos and files. Both columns are checked for that. Scroll down to see what else. Nothing else. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click this Get button in order to switch out of S mode. And it wants me to sign in. Seems to me I heard about this or read about it. In order to switch out of S mode, you have to sign in. Now, once this computer is switched out of S mode, could I then reinstall Windows 10 again and use a local account? Now, even I do have a Microsoft account that is going to be associated with this computer. So I could set up with that Microsoft account and then still switch it to use a local account, because the computer that the person that this computer is going to go to, I don't really want them signing in with the credentials for the Microsoft account for this office, because though that person that's doing scanning of documents from their home, they're not actually a direct employee of the office. All right, so I'll put in that account. And the password. All right, I'm not going to let you watch me type the password. Sign in. Use this account everywhere on your device. I'm going to click next on that and allow it to do that. I could click on this link over here for Microsoft apps only, but I'm going to click next because I'm wanting to find out, does that actually make the computer sign on with the Microsoft account, sign on to Windows. I've got a spinning circle. Well, it stopped. So is it done? Moving the mouse around, I'm not getting a spinning circle anywhere. So with this window still open, I'm going to try Windows key R and WinVer. Still is in S mode right here. I'll minimize this window. The Get button here is grayed out. I'm wondering if there's some prompt hiding behind here somewhere. Minimize this window. No prompt. Oh, the system tray is really light. Barely can see it. So something is going on, but there's no message telling me what's going on. The Windows button, I can see it, but it's white. If I move the mouse over it, I can see it. Press the left mouse button and it responds. Move the mouse over these items in the system tray. They do not change color. Click on the clock. It responds. Alt-Tab. Come back to Microsoft Store. I can't see anything happening here. No message what I am to do. I'm going to look back at that Microsoft site. It said select the Get button. After you see a confirmation message on the page, you'll be able to install apps from outside of the Microsoft Store. I have not seen a confirmation message. All right, I'm going to close this window. Alt-Tab to get back to the settings screen. There's a switch to Windows 10 Home. Here it says Windows Home in S mode. Windows is activated with a digital license. If I click Go to the Store again, what's going on? This is just not right. I want to restart. Close that, close this. See what happens if I try to restart the computer. There's clicking restart. Got a restarting message. All right, there's a desktop. It looks normal. Move the mouse around the taskbar, see if there's any weight indicators. There is. It's giving me an occasional spinning circle. Click on the overflow button for the the system tray. And OneDrive just disappeared and came back. All right, I think it's fully started now. Windows key R. WinVer is already in the field from the last time I did it, so just press the Enter key, and it is still S mode. All right, Windows key. I'm going to type activation. There's activation settings, enter. Yeah, that gets me straight to this thing about switch to Windows 10 Home. So I'm going to click Go to the Store. And then Get. It says working on it. You're all set. You have switched out of S mode. So that was a very quick verification message. It's supposed to happen quickly, and that was quickly. Did not happen quickly last time I tried it. Now, clicking close, and then close this window. And here it says Windows 10 Home, Windows activated with a digital license. It offers to upgrade to Windows 10 Pro. So this is indicating it's not in S mode. Windows key R, WinVer, enter. Windows 2004, Windows 10 Home operating system and its user interface are protected, etc., etc. So we're out of S mode. That was too hardly fought. Okay, so Windows key E to get to Explorer and check on drive utilization. 20.1 gigabytes. So I don't remember the number that I saw last time, but it was somewhere in that vicinity. 20 gigabytes hard drive used before installing Windows updates. That's okay. I'm good with that. Now I want to install updates and see how I'm doing. And then after that, I'll try installing Microsoft Office. Now, installing these updates typically takes a while. So I'm going to end the video at this point. And after this will be a different video. But let's see first what happens with the F4 key for this display panel. I've got it. I've got the display panel back. So I can duplicate and then see if it shows up on XSplit. There it is. We're back. All right. You know what I think I'm going to do is I will end this video. And then right away, I'm going to start another video that will just be the Windows updates so that I can have a video of that process. So before ending this video, I'm going to show the current status of a couple of things. So Windows key R, appwiz.cpl, and show the only thing in there is Microsoft OneDrive. If I go to view installed updates, there are a few updates there showing July 10th, 2020. Wait, what? How did those updates get installed when I did a full fresh installation today? Those were not installed on July 10th. Huh. Okay, Windows key, update, settings. We'll continue to check. View update history. Driver updates, 23 of them. Here's a bunch of driver updates today. So that probably fixed the display driver. All right, so I'm going to end the video here right at this screen, and I'll start the next video with just for installing the updates. And I still might be returning this computer. I don't know. I just don't know. Okay, catch you later. Goodbye.